this bill to the House.
Mr.
The Honourable Damien O'Connor. The Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Age before beauty. Sorry, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Speaker, I have to congratulate Stephen Browning. I guess persistence, determination and a little bit of luck. And he has in the House a bill and an issue that he's been passionate about for a long time, Mr. Speaker. Labor will support the bill, as acknowledged by the earlier speaker, Rino Tiorakathani. Mr. Speaker, Labor has, in government, had a request from the Greens to support country of origin labelling and turned it down. At that time, because they included a whole lot of issues that actually were complications around trade negotiations at that point, and Labor couldn't support that. But since 2011, Labor has always advocated for country of origin labelling because it's simply sensible and while national, and I have to acknowledge wisdom, even though it comes very rare and very late, have decided to support the bill because there is an issue of choice. And while the previous Minister of Food Safety got up and said this has nothing to do with food safety, I disagree. But what it is about is consumers' knowledge and letting them make the calls. And at the heart of that issue is the one of where food is produced and the integrity and the credibility of the systems to produce that food. And in New Zealand, we've just passed the Food Act and we have very, very high standards. In fact, some would say that they're a bit excessive and over the top, particularly for a small producer. But we have very high standards, and I think New Zealanders rightfully can trust the systems that we have. And people who buy our food around the world should be able to trust the systems of food production in New Zealand. But I'm not going to pick on countries, but I can tell you the same it's not the same elsewhere in the world. Whether it's horse meat in the EU, whether it's kangaroo meat in Australia, or whether it's melamine in China, we've got numerous examples of where there have been systems that have not delivered to the consumer the food that they believe they're buying, Mr. Speaker. And so it might not always be a food safety issue. I'm sure eating good quality kangaroo meat is not unsafe, but it's not what the consumer purchased. And if you buy a product from New Zealand, then you should know that it's been produced in the best possible way by the best possible people. We, in fact, have no other option. We are no longer the lowest cost producers of food in the world. We were quite proud of that. We are no longer the lowest cost producers. We've got high land values, we've got technology creeping in, we've got wages that actually should be a little bit higher, I'd have to say, but they're certainly higher than many of our competitors, and that's how it should be, and they're not going to go down, and they shouldn't. So the cost of production will continue to climb. We have to be the Rolex watch producers of protein in the world. People have to be prepared to pay a premium for our products. And when we don't have a country of origin labelling system in our domestic market, people offshore say, "What are you doing? How could it be so ridiculous that you claim to be the best in the world, yet you're not proud to stamp and brand your own products in your own country?" Mr. Speaker, you know, this is not new. In fact, we currently have no country of origin labelling because we have an exemption from the Australia-New Zealand Food Standards Authority, an exemption so that we don't have to have compulsory country of origin labelling. This will be just bringing us into line with Australia. There are technical issues to ensure that what we put in place indeed will work for consumers and work for producers. And I'm sure that the Select Committee will go through that very, very carefully. Mr. Speaker, Horticulture New Zealand, Consumer New Zealand, they all support this. They know we need it. We've got Canada had country of origin labelling in 1990, United States in 2002, Australia, European Union, India, China, Japan, Russia. They've all got it. And yet a country that prides itself in safe food production doesn't have country of origin labelling. And the National Party and the National Ministers of Food Safety have rejected the calls time and time again for us to put it in place. Well, Stephen Browning has snookered the government, and good on you, Stephen. Absolutely snookered between public opinion,
I'm sorry to interrupt the member, but his time has long expired.
I didn't have a bell, Mr. Speaker.
You had a bell at 1 minute.
Did I have a bell? My apologies, Mr. Speaker.
Todd Barclay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.